Hey guys, day 10 of my 40-day fast, God willing, and I have really good news, and I just want to start off with some really good news, and that is that I posted my first YouTube video today on day 10 of my fast. So I am just really looking forward to this. I feel accomplished. It's nothing fancy, but I did follow the guidance of, and this was only possible because of the guidance that I received from a fellow YouTuber. His name is Kevin Kolbe with 2 Ks, and I think his handle is @KevinKolbe, and he had a video that was titled Everything You Need to Know About Posting Your First YouTube. I will include his link in the description below so you can watch this video, but he has been a really valuable resource and the first person that I have subscribed to on YouTube in a really long time. So thank you, Kevin. This is only possible because of you. I really appreciate you. He is a guy that is interested in teaching older people how to post their shit on YouTube. Get shit done. So I really appreciate you, Kevin. Thank you so much. So to get into today's video, I have lesson, I've got a God story, and I've got your tip for how to cleanse easier, how to fast easier, how to make your fast easier. And this is a really good one, and one that I had not considered until I needed it. And then I was like, oh, right. So you don't want to miss out on that. But first, my lesson, okay? So about a month ago, I tried to jump into a 40-day fast. Again, my second 40-day fast. And my priorities were not in alignment with God. They weren't focused on God. And so I was thwarted. I was thwarted at 5 days. But in that 5 days, I gleaned a lot from God. You know, I received my very clear instruction. It was to budget, post your YouTube content, learn how to post your content, and portions. Okay? So that's what I received in those 5 days. And that is what's guiding and leading me now. However, when I ended that fast, he was also very clear. And it was 1 protein shake a day. And I thought, well, that's oddly specific and weird in a way. But I thought, okay. Now, when I broke my first fast back in March, so I had completed a 40-day fast back in March, the fast was, I had that in my mind. It was portions, 1 protein shake a day. It was actually 1 protein shake a day, and it was in the evening. So it was like I was to go all day and then break fast and have a protein shake. I didn't follow that instruction. Of course, we think we know better, right? That's that. And he even told me to focus on my budget. Again, we think we know better. And so we'll leave it at that. But after this last attempt to do that was sorted after 5 days, I did follow that instruction, and I had a protein drink every single night for dinner. It had between 42 and 58 grams of protein, depending on if I added another scoop of like Sun Warrior in there or something. But it was a high amount of protein, and that was my consumption of protein. And then again, I would probably have a protein shake for breakfast if I had breakfast. So I was getting a high amount of protein, and per God's instruction. So again, I didn't know why, but at that point, it was like, okay, like I get it. And then also portions, I was kind of working on my portions at that time also. Still consuming a lot more liquid than I feel like I need. I was overfilling my stomach. But that being said, I was following his instruction. So the purpose of this, okay, for those of you into science, for those of you just concerned about your menstruation, are you asking yourself, by not consuming for 40 days, how is this going to affect my menstrual cycle? Will I still have a period? And when will that normalize again? Like, will I have it on my fast? So I wanted to kind of get out in front of that, and because it's very relevant to me right now. So a while back, I had made some bad decisions, and I turned to the right? We want to be straightforward, or we want to move forward, we want to move towards God, steadfast. We don't want to turn to the right or to the left. I turned to the right, and I got lost, and I now know what it feels like. I know what it is to be lost, and what it takes to find my way back to God. And I never knew that before. And so experience, knowledge, wisdom, right? And so we'll move on from that. But I turned to the right, and that caused a lot of stress on my body. And that caused my periods to become irregular. I was on the money. Every month, the first of the month, I was having my period. Every single month on the first of the month, I had my period. And you could take it to the bank. And then all of a sudden, it was like the 20th or like the 22nd. And I thought, I have really screwed up my body. I have really screwed up my endocrine system. Like I have made some really gnarly choices. And your body keeps score, it tells you. And if you know how to read your body, you'll know that you have really screwed up. So on my road coming back, right, I have been tracking my periods. And slowly, while I'm seeking God and regulating my nervous system again and all of my hormones and like all of these things, I started to find myself moving back towards my regular day by like 1 or 2 days a month. So I was on the 10th. I had come back to the 10th, and I thought, oh, this is so good. I am getting there. And I have a girlfriend of mine, and we talk about our flow, and she's incredible. She's a nurse. She's incredible. And so we talk a lot, and I always shoot her a ping like, oh, I'm it's not the 14th, it's the 12th, and like all this, and we celebrate together because that means we know that our internal systems are regulating. It's awesome. So I had come to the 10th. I was expecting this month that after I ended my first 40-day fast, it took me an entire month to have a period again. But that period was on the 10th. And so I thought, okay, we're just going to skip a month and we'll just jump right back to the 10th, right? So God instructed me to have protein drinks. He instructed me to have and consume protein drinks. And, I was like, at this point, because I'm continuing to grow in my trust and my faith and what I hear, that instruction, I'm paying attention and I'm listening. And so I followed suit. After I ended my 5-day fast, I received my 3 pieces of instruction. But the protein drink was, I guess, a 4th piece. And I listened. And, maybe if I had listened after my first 40-day fast, I would have had my period right on schedule. But I did not. Anyway, yesterday, I started my period on the 2nd of the month. And so these high doses of protein, just ensuring that your body has enough protein to regulate its internal systems. So we're supposed to have between like 80 and 100 grams of protein a day. Before, I was not doing that. With the protein drinks, I am supplementing and I am getting that. So I followed his instruction. It's the amino acids and the protein that are needed to make up the mitochondria, right? And it also keeps our insulin levels at a healthy level. And when our insulin levels are more regulated, are more regular, this helps our endocrine system, and that regulates our cortisol levels. And all of this helps like a healthy production of ATP. There are a lot of things that go into it when you kind of get into the science. But I didn't need to get into the science because I didn't really realize how it was going to affect me. But now that I know, like, it makes sense. Like, God had my back. Like, he had my back, and he knew what his plans were and what he had in store for me. And because I listened, I consumed ample protein. It moved up my schedule. So now I'm on the 2nd of the month. I'm having a healthy, full period. And enough energy because I'm about to go into that fast. I'm 10 days now into this fast. That he just kind of managed this whole, he knew what was going to happen. And so it's like, it's just really, really cool how God works. So this wasn't meant to be my God story, but it turned into a God story because I'm looking for God in everything, and I'm looking for his face in absolutely everything that's happening. So his hand is in all of this. And so I'm going to throw up some gratitude and some worship to God because I'm having a really healthy period. I now know because of course I've gone back, I've refreshed, I reached out to a doctor friend of mine, and she took me to school on like kind of how it works and how it can affect ovulation. So I'm like pulling in my resources. Thank you, Dr. Chan. And so it's all kind of making sense. I can take God, I can take science, and I can work it all together, right? But all in all, it's God, right? And so it's so beautiful. And so I know that when I end this fast, I will stick to, obviously we know portions, as soon as I end this fast, portions is at the very top of my mind, and it is a priority. So I'm going to keep reiterating that because it is super, super important. So I will focus on portions, but I will take those protein shakes and continue to work them into my diet because of how it's healthfully regulating my internal systems. And so thank you, God, for that instruction. I'm going to continue to apply that, and then hopefully after 40 days my period will regulate. But of course I will keep you in the loop because now you are in the loop. So for anyone who is concerned about period regulation and menstruation and how that affects you, that's my story. Please take that for what it is, and I will keep you in the loop. So I just wouldn't be concerned about that. The benefits of fasting far exceed missing a period. You can miss a period, but you kind of know what my cycle was like before. So there's a lot of context there, and I think there's a lot that you can glean from that, and a lot of experience that's just a full picture. So now to the God story that I had intended to share with you. I have been praying for a vacation. I feel like I need rest, I need sunshine, I need to be in the ocean, I need water, and I've been praying for it silently, not actively or out loud, because my focus is, on my fast and learning how to post my content and finding a purpose and all of those things that are just really important, right? But deep down, I've been praying for rest, some rest. And I had a friend who lives out in California who asked me if I would be interested in escorting her mother, who lives out in Columbus, escorting her mother out to California. And then I can stay for like 4 or 5 days and just take in the sunshine and enjoy, familial company, because they're the closest thing to family that I have. And so I'm really looking forward to that. If it works out and if it's God's will, it will work out. And then it will be in the budget, and budget monetarily speaking, like everything will be okay. And so I'm just going to trust the process and allow it to happen. If God wants a door opened, he'll open it. And if it's not meant to be, it will not be. But I just wanted to share that with you. It's like really, I would love it. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, now the tip of all tips, in my opinion, when you are fasting, and this is kind of a recurring theme. I mentioned this yesterday in day 9. I've mentioned this in like other videos, like day 7 and day 6. When we are fasting, we are throwing off all kinds of toxic material, bacteria, yeast, virus, mucus, like that mucoid plaque that's like lining our digestive tract that slows peristalsis and prevents us from like actual peristalsis because it's sticky and it gets hard. So elimination slows down. All of that that has not had a chance to properly digest is now taking the opportunity to properly digest. When you're not consuming or producing acid that produces that plaque, that produces that mucus, right? When we're not producing the mucus, we have actually a chance to break it down and eliminate it. And so all of that is actually being broken down and eliminating right now. while we are breaking this down, like, okay, let's do this. In day 7, I referred to the oral implant. And that's orally speaking, like 1,000 times fold, we're producing all this bacteria. This is a cesspool for bacteria anyway, but like while you're fasting and throwing off all kinds of toxic material, it's like 1,000-fold. So go back and watch day 7 and learn all about tongue scraping, okay? And that's how you clear up your tongue. Refer to day 9, or no, day 9 is tongue scraping. Day 7 is oral implants. So we're also going to take the opportunity while the plaque is breaking down to implant healthy, good gut bacteria. But we are throwing it off and throwing it off and throwing it off. So I've also talked about warm water enemas being a primary way to help boost your overall general sense of well-being and eliminate those detox side effects. Okay? Now, this morning I felt really, really bad. Like really, really bad. I was low in energy. I was stuck to the ground. I could not seem to get myself up. I just couldn't. And I realized, you know what? It's the second day of your period. Like, your body needs to rest. You need to give it time to rest. But I'm also fasting. And so your body is also throwing off tons of stuff. What did I do to solve this? I moved into the restroom and I took a series of warm water enemas. Warm water enemas until clear is what I did. Not just one, but a series. I probably did 5 or 6. And what this does is it takes not just the bulk of what has settled in the lower part of your small intestine or your large intestine, that just hasn't come out naturally. It clears that bulk, but then that next enema and the next enema, and as we work the enemas up our descending colon, over our transverse, and down our ascending colon, right? So we're clearing this entire area. We're working that, we're taking a full bucket and we're working that liquid up and around. It is clearing all of the debris, not just bulk, but all of the debris. And that debris, because a lot of what occurs in the large intestine is reabsorption. So if it's not eliminating, we're reabsorbing it. So that's why people who are super constipated feel really, really bad. And they'll come to the emergency room and we'll prescribe an enema. An enema will cure everything, right? When the bulk is not being eliminated. So an enema will take care of that. So people who are not eliminating will prescribe an enema to do that. But when there's no bulk, because we cleared that bulk, and there are still what we are breaking down in our internal systems that have made their way into the large intestine. And those remnants will just hang out. Those little particles, they will just hang out. That debris will just hang out. And while it's hanging out, it can also make you hang really low. You'll hang low vibrationally, energetically. It will pull you down. So with each warm water enema, we're clearing more and more out. In fact, when I took these enemas, the second after I cleared the bulk that was kind of resting in my lower part of my descending, when I took it, the first one that I had washed through here was like almost black. And then the second was like a dark brown, and then like almost red. And then like the third was like it had like an amber tone to it. And then the third was like light brown. And then like the fourth was like a dark yellow, like a muddy yellow. And then like the fifth was like a pure yellow. And then like the sixth was like clear. Like it was like a clear, lightly tinted yellow. And I thought I can stop there. And also I started to kind of cramp just a little bit, but it really, really helps elevate your overall sense of well-being and just give you a refresh. So warm water enemas, a series of warm water enemas on days that you are feeling really, really low, really, really good for you. And I will make sure you look for the enema system that I use in the link, in the links below. I'll include that, and that will be an affiliate link. So just be mindful of that I will make a little bit off of that. But that's kind of part of supporting me also. And so I'm okay with that. I hope you are too. And I appreciate your support. But this is the best enema system that I have found. I've used so many. And this is the best one that I've found. So I really hope that you love it. Let me know how you love it in the comments below. And just if you have overall questions or comments, please leave them in the comments, and just engage in conversation. I would just love that too. I am working on shorter videos, but this one with the explanation of your period and menstruation, it just took a little longer. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.